Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So before we start today's video, I just want to give you guys a little bit of an update. So I've been posting less frequently because this summer I've been applying to scholarships like every day and it takes up a lot of my time. And I've also been doing summer classes, so I've been pretty busy. But I'm going to be trying to post more frequently. I don't know if I can make a commitment yet, but I'll see what I can do. At least I'll try to go back to posting weekly. But today's video is going to be a mid-year book freakout time. I know that I'm late because it's like August, and August is not mid-year, but whatever, let's just get on with it. So, the best book that I've read this year is actually a book I've just finished. And you guys, this book was amazing. I gave it 5 stars, and I don't give 5 stars lightly. Like, I've only given 3 books, 4 including this one, 5 stars for like the past 3 years. So it was really, really good. So the book that I gave 5 stars is Permission to Come Home, Reclaiming Mental Health as Asian Americans. Oh my God, like literally life-changing. I love this book so much. Did this book take me 2 months to read? Yes, it did. But was it worth every single moment of that 2 months? Actually, I don't know. It's kind of a pain to read, not gonna lie. But anyways, let me share a little bit about what's so amazing about this book. So I don't even know really how to put it into words. It's just like, but I'll try. So like each chapter is permission to do something. Let me read it for you guys. Permission to question, feel, rage, say no, take up space, choose, fail, grieve, come home. So yes, the concepts that it explores are pretty basic, but it like dives deeper into them. So we don't get like a surface level like analysis of each topic. And it's like about the Asian American experience and examines it with like a lot of detail and depth. It brings up things that I hadn't ever thought deeply about. It's just very, very validating for any Asian American person or really any marginalized person in general. I kind of feel like everyone should read this book, but just kind of, because it does say mental health, like, for Asian Americans, so it probably wouldn't resonate for, like, everybody, but, like, it was just so great. Like, each chapter literally felt like a therapy session. I loved it so much. Maybe just because I've never read books like this before, but it blew my mind. The chapter on boundaries was my favorite. If you're Asian American, go pick up this book. Trust me, you won't regret it. It will take you maybe a bit to get through because it took me like 2 months just because it's like tedious and kind of uncomfortable to read, but the end result was so worth it for me. Okay, so next question is best sequel you've read this year. So I thought sequel just meant like the second installment in a series, but sequel is actually like any book after the first. So the best sequel I've read this year is no doubt Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. So here it is, the library edition of the book. Agatha Christie is an author that I just got into like in June. Yeah, in June. So yeah, I just got into her. And this is the second book that I've read from her. The Murder on the Orient Express, I bought that book, but I never finished it because I watched the movie when I was little, so I knew what happened. So I thought that I didn't like her books, but actually it was just because I knew the ending. So yeah, this book was great. The setup before the murder is taught with drama, intrigue, and emotion. Poirot is like the main detective for this one, Hercule Poirot, and his perspective is a treat to read from, and the cast of characters is interesting and realistic. For some of her books, like A Crib and Mystery, the cast of characters was like flat, and I did not like care for them that much. Like, they weren't interesting to me, and the setting was not that like detailed either. But in this one, the setting was done a lot better. Christie was fair with giving out clues. I was able to guess who done it before the reveal, which made my experience reading the book even more satisfying. And my only complaints, though, for this one are the racism, racial, foreign, communist stereotypes. Just found them cruel and unnecessary. Okay, next one is a really fun one. Biggest disappointment. To all the boys I've loved before, that is my biggest disappointment. Oh my gosh, I could not have predicted that I would give it 1.5 stars, which is the lowest I've rated a book this year. And I did not give it a 0.5 extra to be nice. I gave it a 0.5 for the cozy vibes, and there was a bit of romance. It wasn't like altogether terrible, but it was pretty close to being just like completely unenjoyable. So for me, the main issue was I felt like the book was just too focused on unimportant details, and I just did not want to read through all that. And I also thought that the romance seemed superficial because Laura Jean and Peter Kavitsky had literally very little in common. They just seemed like an okay pairing, but like it didn't seem very like extra compatible or like a romance of a lifetime to me. Biggest surprise this year, surprise author, is Agatha Christie, because I could have never imagined that I would get into her books. The first time that I was reading Murder on the Orient Express, it was so dry to me for some reason. I was like, yeah, I just don't get the hype. But this year, I got the hype. And then my favorite or biggest surprise book was Their Vicious Games. I just thought the cover was so unassuming. The cover just gave a more like teen vibe. It is a young adult book, but it gave like a younger vibe, and the story itself was much more mature. Or the book itself was much more mature. Like the themes were more mature and the stakes were higher than what the cover presented. I just felt the cover did not really like show how great the book was. Basically, bottom line, the cover didn't do the book justice. So that's why it surprised me. I guess I'll share my review with you guys. So what I said for this one was, if you're craving a book reminiscent of the Hunger Games series, check this one out. Filled with suspense, social commentary, and complex characters. Some parts were too slow for my liking, and the ending was less satisfying than I anticipated. Still an enjoyable read. So next question is new favorite author. I don't do favorite authors. Whenever I get attached to an author, then some scandal comes out about them, and then yeah, it's just an awkward situation. New favorite character. I don't know if I have one, but out of all the characters I've read about this year, Hercule Poirot definitely stands out. He's a really endearing character. He's fun to read about. His mannerisms are endearing. His behavior's endearing. I like how he figures things out easily. I don't know. I just like him. He's likable. Books that made you cry this year. So I don't cry easily when reading, but two books did make me tear up. First one, Things You Might Find Hidden in My Ear, Poems from Gaza. The author in this one writes about his personal experiences in Gaza, and it was very hard hitting. It really shed awareness to me about how severe the mistreatment of Palestinian people is. Originally I was not that informed on the whole conflict thing, but I knew that I supported Palestine because there's genocide going on. And I found this collection sobering and gritty, with the middle section being especially powerful. The book was real, honest, and very sobering. I could not imagine living in the conditions that the author did. Author is very resilient. The things they have been through, it's just incredible that they're writing about it, and yeah, I just can't imagine going through that. Yeah, it's just overall a very beautiful poetry collection, and it was very captivating. I read it in 3 sittings. This book also made me tear up a bit at the end. The ending chapter was very powerful and moving. A book that made me happy is Where the Mountain Meets the Moon, and this one is a middle grade fantasy which I read when I was a child, and then I returned to it this year to read again. It did make me happy in the fact that it was wholesome. It was cute. Yeah. I think that this book did so well, was a full circle moment, really left me with a contented, heartwarming feeling. Themes and ideas, slightly idealistic, not really grounded in reality, but it is fantasy. Book that I want to read before the year ends. I mean, I have so many books on my TBR, 257, so it's not a specific book that I want to read before the year ends, more like an amount of books that I want to read before the year ends. I think I can maybe do 40, but it's August and I've read 23 books so far this year. So we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sending you guys so much love and goodbye.